You are expected to use your computer for almost all of your classes.
They prepared me for the technical world.
Bentley College, Waltham, Massachusetts. Undergraduate, graduate, and continuing education programs. Call 1-800-5-BENT-LEY.
Another great old rivalry. Well, not such an old one. Actually, this is fairly recent, but it's been very intense. Bentley at one point had a 30-game winning streak that was broken by Stonehill. That was at the end of the 1995 season. We are underway in the fourth quarter. Raposa goes over 100 yards and heads for 6. Raposa in a foot race. Touchdown, Bentley. That will put it away, barring a miracle comeback by Stonehill. That makes it 41-18. Raposa on the first play of the fourth quarter.
Boy, do they get to the corner quickly. They just collapse the left defensive side of the Stonehill defensive line. They get great blocks, lead blocks on the outside. Raposa is just a collapsing a little hole there. Oh, we got away with one. Little hole on the defensive on Fredette, the cornerback, but nonetheless, that's a touchdown. Sometimes you get away with those.
And Eric Giacoba, extra point kick is good. The score is 42-18 Bentley. And we'll be back after this.
The versatile Ricoh touchscreen copier. For those impressed by its remarkable brain, consider the body. Precision engineered for heavy duty and high volume. Ricoh's obsession with reliability and performance in a whole new class of machine. And the quality we put into it, you can get out of it right now. Because Ricoh's touchscreen copiers are not only more productive, they're also more affordable. The name to know, Ricoh.
Budget now rents Jaguars and other diversions. Budget, get out of the ordinary.
When you're making important decisions about your future, listen to what the experts have to say.
One thing that I appreciate about Bentley was that the administration and the faculty were there to support me.
The professors have told me not to worry about making mistakes.
At Bentley, you feel like someone really cares about your career.
Bentley College, Waltham, Massachusetts. Undergraduate, graduate, and continuing education programs. Call 1-800-5-BENT-LEY.
You should go to Stonehill because they have a really good community base. People who actually really care.
Professors are like very caring. They're always there.
Easy to get in contact with them.
Yep.
Very easy to make appointments.
And they'll make time for you.
You have such a really good opportunity to grow in a really small college.
Well, there's tons of clubs. I mean, you name the topic, there's going to be a club for it.
This is where I want to be.
Bentley 42, Stonehill 18, 14:48 remaining in the football game, fourth quarter. And, boy, I'll tell you, Raposa ripped off a game there. Matt Raposa, how many yards was that? 52-yard run. Jacoba with the extra point, 42-18. How many yards does that give Raposa now for the
140-something. It's his
game?
7th 100-yard rushing game of the season, 147. And the kickoff. It's picked up by Adamson for Stonehill. Adamson brings it back out to the 40-yard line. And the tackle for Bentley. Number 55. Where is he? There he is, Jason Lazon. Early in the fourth quarter, 3 touchdowns with 3 two-point conversions would do it, wouldn't it?
That's a long uphill climb. I'm afraid that last touchdown was a bit of a crusher. I mean, they had an uphill climb anyway, but with that situation, now this defensive line for Bentley can just tee off, screen pass.
Over the middle, this is to McSherry, and he can rumble. He is built low to the ground. They will gain 7 on that play. And 2nd and 3 is coming up here for the Chieftains.
You know, you got to run what you can run, and you got to do the things that give you the best chance of moving the football upfield. But in this kind of situation, you know, if you're Bentley, you know that the screen pass and the drop play are not going to beat you. You know, they're not going to be what loses the football game for you if they come back and scramble back in. You're going to get beaten on a series of deep passes.
William Hurley, who is or has actually been a quarterback, is out here as a wide receiver on the right side. That pass was in the vicinity of Brian Adamson, but incomplete, so 3rd down and 2.
I don't think they ever had that correctly set up in terms of where everybody wanted to run, because there's no question that the wide receivers weren't on the same page as the quarterback.
There's a timeout.
Yep, sorry, Tom. 42-18. Bentley leads Stonehill. We'll be back after this timeout.
The versatile Ricoh touchscreen copier. For those impressed by its remarkable brain, consider the body. Precision engineered for heavy duty and high volume. Ricoh's obsession with reliability and performance in a whole new class of machine. And the quality we put into it, you can get out of it right now. Because Ricoh's touchscreen copiers are not only more productive, they're also more affordable. The name to know, Ricoh.
Budget now rents Jaguars and other diversions. Budget, get out of the ordinary.
Derrick with a pass over the middle to Ken Bowen, and Bowen chugs down to the 22-yard line, and a big gain for the Chieftains on the pass over the middle.
Well, those are the kinds of things that can hurt you. And big Bowen, Ken Bowen out of Hudson, New Hampshire, Bishop Girton High School, look off to the right side, dump to the tight end. That's a tight end delay over the middle, and he's looking around. He just sees lots of room to run, heads himself north and picks up the yardage. 1st and 10 for Stonehill, and they are at the Bentley, what do you just say, 24-yard line?
That's what I said, maybe the 23. 1st and 10 for the Chieftains, the 3rd 40-plus point output of the season for Bentley as they lead 42-18. Stonehill trying to get back in this thing. The pass to White, and he takes it in for the touchdown. Well, they have to go for 2.
Deep ball downfield, and that's an outstanding pitch and catch by Derrick to White. White has had some troubles playing defensive secondary tonight because this afternoon has been a difficult day to play cornerback or play defensive safety. But here he gets to have a chance on the other side of the ball, and he just makes a great play, come back to the football, watch where the ball is, beat the defender to come back in and pick it off. And excellent play as he beats Adam Whitby for the ball.
42-24. And we've got some serious offense going on here.
Yeah, he likes playing there better than he likes playing at the defensive side of the ball today in these field conditions.
13-13. Stonehill tries for 2 to reduce the margin to 16. Derrick is in trouble. He gets away from a tackle. He may be able to run it in, but they get him and take him down short of the goal line. And the 2-point try fails. Looked for a moment, Nort, like he might be able to get there.
Well, yeah, but he just didn't have enough time to get wide to the outside. I think wide to the outside could have given him a chance maybe to throw the football to Bowen or run it in himself, but he got tangled up before that happened. And see, this is the play gets busted down here where he just starts getting pressure from the left side. Now he tries to run, but just a little bit too much traffic for him to get through. Bowen thought he might have been able to get open out there in that left side of the end zone.
Series going back to 1998. Stonehill and Bentley, the most offense was 75 points in that game here in 1995 when Stonehill broke that 30-game winning streak. Final score in that one was 39-36. Nort?
This copyrighted program is brought to you under rights granted by the ECAC solely for the entertainment of our viewing audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, retransmission, or the use of the accounts or description of this game without the written consent of the New England Sports Network and the ECAC is prohibited. I had a little trouble at the beginning of that. Did you notice?
I know, but you rallied.
I wasn't smooth.
Came on strong.
I wasn't smooth. It was not real easy.
Regrouped very nicely.
Yes, I did. You know, I would like to figure out about how many times I've done that over my career. It's got to be up in the multi-thousands.
I'd say that you're approaching the school record.
Yes, I am. That's in record.
Kickoff, and Bentley brings it straight back up the middle. There are some new white jerseys in there, some clean ones. Bentley will start this series at the 37-yard line.
Remy may have me. Baseball's a longer season.
Well, more games in a season.
Remy may have more disclaimers. You know, he might.
I don't think he does them nearly as well, though.
Well, I don't know. I think sometimes he blows them off. He doesn't do them at all.
But when you do that many, you can take it for granted.
Remy does a poor disclaimer. That'll get back to him. Wow, a lot of yardage. Same play.
Raposa again, and he almost pulled away from that tackler. Didn't. Ultimately, David Fleming managed to hang on, but Raposa has really been churning out the yards since about the second quarter on. They were coming in little tiny pieces, a yard and 2 yards at a whack in the first quarter, but boys up to 161 now, plus the 2 touchdowns.
Well, they found a home with counter trap inside in the third quarter, and now they're just running a little toss, a little outside, sealing off the outside defensive end and kicking out the cornerback, and that's what's been effective.
42-24, Bentley, and with the ball. First down and 10. At the Stonehill 49-yard line, Raposa tries the left side. And for a guy who isn't real big, the initial impact was made at about the 48-yard line, and with a man around his hips, dragged him another 3 yards to the 45, and that's where they'll put the ball. Second down and 6 for the Falcons.
Well, they get a real overload to that left side. They get 2 lead blockers out in front of them. They have half the Bentley student body to the left of center, and they are able to seal off that corner, and he ends up just tip of the shoulder, making yardage upfield. Second down and about 7.
12 minutes to play. Eastern Football Conference ball game. Aiello, the fullback, whacks straight ahead to the 40-yard line. Will be a yard and a half short of a first down. David Fleming makes the tackle for Stonehill.
Well, right now, Stonehill's being beaten up a little bit up front. That time looked like they came with a press with linebackers inside, and they were just running straight dive. Found a little bit of a hole and picked up about 4 yards. Third down, maybe a long yard.
Well, you're seeing from the Bentley offense exactly what you would expect, which is a good passing game by Mike Mason, an outstanding receiving afternoon by Mark DeBrito, and this man, Matt Raposa, rushing for 100 yards again. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's a pretty good effort on that play because there was not much that he could do. He managed to get back to the line of scrimmage, maybe gain a half a yard on the play.
I'll tell you what they do here, though. You got to give Fredette a lot of credit. He's had a tough day, pass defense-wise and run-wise. It's very difficult to play out there. But watch 36 Fredette. He just squeezes down that play, forces the whole thing outside, took on the blocker, knocked the blocker down. He's had a tough day out there because field conditions have been very difficult. But, boy, he showed you something there as he really came up and met that play with force and knocked it outside.
Bentley will go for it on 4th and 1. Purple jerseys jumping a little bit early. Raposa with first down, and a whole lot more is taken down at the 23-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Falcons. Tackle was made over on the far sideline. Fleming.
I'll tell you, Tommy, if you want to have a great play called against the defense, run an inside stunt and have a little toss or some outside handoff play run against it. Now, Stonehill's running blitz inside. See, they're coming with pressure. This is a wide handoff. See, once you get up beyond the perimeter line of scrimmage, there's no linebackers to make the tackle. They've all come up in a blitz action.
DeBrito out to the left side, and Mike Lundell to the right for the Falcons. There's the handoff to the fullback, Aiello. Pounds straight ahead. Powerful runner.
Yeah, he is, and he's done a great job of blocking. I'll tell you, he and Fredette have come to know each other very well today as they have had some collisions out there at the perimeter where he takes on the defensive corner to let that outside play go. He's done a good job of faking on counter. He's been a very effective football player, and he's held a couple of times and got away with it.
You know, Aiello is listed at 5'10" and 195, and Raposa is listed at 5'8" and 195, but Aiello looks to be the heavier of the players. Pass to Lundell. Lundell takes it to the 5-yard line. Another first down for Bentley, and the Falcons are closing in on the half-century mark.
Well, this is just a very tough play to defend. Lundell catches the ball between the defensive halfback and the defensive safety man. Time pass, short drop. and he just fires the ball out to an area, and that area is between the cornerback and the safety. You try to throw it just beyond the corner short coverage and in front of the safety's deep coverage, and they found that crease in the zone, delivered the ball, and that's the game.
6'4", 237-pound tight end Darren Lee has come into the lineup for Bentley. DeBrito, left side, they give it to Raposa, and he will go in for his 3rd touchdown of the day. Raposa with 3, DeBrito with 4. That makes it 48-24.
Well, they just made a season out of this little wide handoff. It's not a toss, but it's similar in action to a toss because he ends up running the ball clearly outside, but it's a deep handoff. What deep handoff, not a toss play, deep handoff, has a little bit of option where to run. They just are isolating the linebackers and cutting down, shutting off the pursuit of Stonehill. They just don't have anybody to pursue over there.
And the extra point is good to make it 49-24, and Raposa is having his best rushing day of the year. 187 yards now. He'd had a 166 and a 140, a 120, a 166, 162, and 113, but he has a very good shot at a 200-yard ball game. 34 yards in the first half and 153 and 3 touchdowns so far in the second half.
Well, whenever you have great offensive performance, you usually have guys having career games, and Mason's having one of the best games that he's had, and DeBrito's having a great football game. He scored four touchdowns today, DeBrito?
DeBrito, yeah. 4
touchdowns, 1 long touchdown pass of 69 yards. So you have those 3 specialists. Raposa's had a great game from the running back position, and your fullback has played about as well as you can play.
For Raposa, a big change. He is a junior, but a big change from his sophomore season. As they squib that kick, they toss it back for Adamson, and Adamson brings it back out to the 37-yard line. Raposa, though, as a sophomore, carried the ball only 9 times, gained a total of 12 yards. But that was last year.
Hey, my guy was out there, made that tackle. We're going to get him on finally. Stephen Candelario.
From Woburn.
You bet, he's a Tanner. Stephen Candelario, backup fullback, and on the kickoff team, squirreled his way to the inside there to make the tackle.
He is a sturdy young man.
Yes, he is. 5'8", 195. Does a good job on special teams. We're talking to the coaches about him before the game, and they're very happy with him.
Stonehill with the ball. Derek pounded at the 28-yard line by Chris Butler.
You know, this is the time of the football game that all the defensive football players are just having fun out there. This is give the quarterback a lick time. You just, you sit back and dream of times like this as a defensive football player that you're in the football game where the score is 49-24. It's late in the game, and you can just tee off. You don't have to watch trap. You don't have to think run. You just go. Let somebody else tackle the draw, the screen.
Derek on that quarterback draw that has worked well throughout the afternoon. Ooh, he's hit hard again. And just as he approached the 40-yard line, that was Jake Oates coming up from the cornerback spot and stuck him pretty well.
Now, outside of Cheshire, Connecticut, once again, this is what they have been able to do effectively, and the quarterback has run this effectively, but you're not going to win a football game running draws and screens. It's what you have to do because it's what you get in those situations where you have second and long yardage, and the reason that the draw and screen has been effective, they've been in too many of those.
Adamson, Harrison are wide out here to the near side. And on the shotgun, the snap is to Derek, throws it short over the middle, just back to the line of scrimmage. May have gained a yard on the pass, complete to Ken Bowen, taken down by Tom Fleming from Waltham.
Yeah, I think they're trying to run tight end screen here. Quarterback just drops back, drop back, drop back. Tight end just sort of sits there. But certainly the Bentley defense had that one smelled out.
Jason McGrath is back to receive the punt for Bentley. Kick is away, and McGrath has it at the 28, fumbles it, it's loose, and it looks like a purple jersey's there. It is. Stonehill gets it back, at the 27-yard line.
If you're a kid getting a chance to play, Jason McGrath out of Melrose, Massachusetts, with that, hasn't been in the game very much, and if at all, and there the first play of the game, he gets the punt and not able to put it away. Yep. Talk about what you dream of on one side, which is teeing off and have a full rush of the quarterback. That's on the negative side, what you have nightmares about. You get put in the game late, punt comes to you, and you, whoops.
So that's the equivalent of a long pass completion. Harrison throws the halfback option pass, not real well, and is lucky to have it fall incomplete.
Well, that was exactly what's meant when you say a ball is thrown up for grabs. But, when you're a defensive back in this situation and it's late in the football game as Sean Gray is and you're a senior, you should have had this interception. He knows that this was his interception. Just didn't get it. You just end your senior year with a 49-24 win if that's the way the score ends up. And in the last 5 minutes, 6 minutes, you intercept the ball. That's pretty good.
75 points combined is the most that these two teams have scored in a game against one another since they both went to varsity programs. They are at 73 now. The ball is loose. Derrick was slammed, and it came loose. He was hit from the blind side. Bentley recovers it, and the exchange of fumbles gives the ball back now to the Falcons at the 28-yard line, and that's about where they would have had it if they had fielded the punt cleanly.
Well, Ben Nasser has just about a free run right at the quarterback. Wham!
Nasser again.
You bet. You better be getting rid of the ball pretty quickly when he has that kind of rush at you. I mean, the fullback takes the inside guy. That's the nearest guy that he's watching, but Nasser has just a open lane from the outside.
He's been playing very well for a very long time.
Yeah, fullback's key in that play is you look to pick up from the inside out. So when you have penetration up inside, that's the first place you look.
Bentley with the ball back. Handoff once again for Raposa. Gets slammed as he gets to the 30-yard line. A gain of maybe 3 yards on the play.
Yeah, good hit by David Fleming, the linebacker out of Wilmington High School. Wilmington, Mass, 5'10", 205 pounds. Puts a lick on this. 6:27 remaining. Bentley's got a lot, and Stonehill doesn't have enough.
Eastern Football Conference ball game. And next Saturday, final game of this year's ECAC Chevy Dealers of New England Game of the Week. It will be for the Eastern Football Conference Championship. American International College's Yellow Jackets will be at home against either Southern Connecticut or Albany. There's a handoff and a 1st and 10 for the Falcons out to the 41-yard line.
Yeah, Raposa keeps to add on to the stats.
At the half in that game in Albany, where the Great Danes of Albany have won 9 in a row, Southern Connecticut and Albany playing for the Atlantic Division Championship in the Eastern Football Conference are dead even at 21-21.
Joe Meal got nicked there, came out of the game. Boy, he's had an outstanding football game up front for Bentley in the offensive line. The big junior out of Stonehill, Massachusetts, 6 foot, 230 pounds. Lined up at left guard today and played exceptionally well.
Southern Connecticut, the Owls, Albany, the Great Danes. We'll see one of them with the Yellow Jackets next Saturday.
Quarterback change. Ryan Fryer out of Plymouth South High School.
Fumbles the snap from center and covers it himself. And a loss of a yard on the play. So 2nd and 11.
Just as frequently happens when you have a quarterback change, you have a bad exchange, and you wonder how that occurs because it's these guys practice together all week long. Not Fryer obviously not with the number 1 center as much as Mason, but I always blame that on the quarterback. I figured if the quarterback they're usually happy the quarterback getting out of there a little too soon.
Here's a pitch, left side. Diving for a gain of 3, and a flag is thrown in late. That's Frisoli, number 20, Chris Frisoli, a sophomore from Hanson, Mass. Another one of those kids from Whitman, Hanson. And Mark Driscoll, number 41, makes the tackle for Stonehill. Holding against Bentley is the call. Clock stops, 5 minutes and 17 seconds to play. The PS on that game that we've mentioned a couple of times, in which Stonehill ended a 30-game Bentley winning streak, is that as a result of Stonehill winning that game, these same two teams met 1 week later in the postseason, and Bentley beat Stonehill, who had beaten them a mere week earlier, 42-3. It was a major reversal of fortunes.
Yeah, I think Coach Yetton got their attention in the week between games.
Come on, Hill! 30-game winning streak had been the longest in college football this century in New England. And the second unit is in offensively now for Bentley, and struggling a little bit. A loss of a yard on that play. They go to 4th down and 9 for Zoli, again the ball carrier. And the Falcons set up quickly to punt without a huddle, trying to catch the Chieftains unawares. And there is your snap. Kick is away. Adamson's going to let it bounce at the 25. Just keeps bouncing inside the 15 down to the 13-yard line. So it's 87 yards away from where the Chieftains need to go, with 4 minutes and 23 seconds to play.
You know, Tom, we've had some times where we haven't had great kicks on either side of the ball, but I think by and large, when you look at this football game and look at the conditions, both punters and the snappers have done a pretty good job of playing error-free football in this game. You sometimes, whoops, get out of the way of that, don't get hit. That's why I tell you, sometimes it's best not to have those guys back there at all. You know, just don't even have them back there if you don't want to catch the ball.
When you and I...
Did he touch that ball at all?
No, don't think so.
Oh, yeah, look, it's on purple.
I don't know, maybe he did. Somebody in there in purple, yeah. Well, at any rate.
Look at that. Well, I don't think they're about to call that right now.
Derek is wrapped up and dragged down. That's back very close to the goal line, maybe around the 2-yard line, Nort.
Yeah, about
to
2-yard line.
Here.
Yeah, Tucker made the tackle. Pressure by Tucker on the inside. He and he's had just a splendid game all game long. He and Nasser, just a load to handle. If you're trying to set up your offensive protection, you know, you can't double team. It's very tough to double team guys on the outside, because, you know, you've basically got one guy to block with him, and if you're going to double team him, you got to double team him with a back, and you can't double team both of them. You don't have enough guys in there to block by double teaming both of them. So you got to, you know, if you want to double team, you got to pick one, and they're both tough.
The snap goes to Derek in the end zone, fires it down there, and that probably should have been intercepted, but it fell incomplete. The receiver, Adamson, fell down, and it left nothing but white jerseys there. There were 3 of them, but the ball found mud.
Derek threw that down there, just hoping somebody pick it off. O'Brien was the one that had the best chance to intercept it. Derek is under a lot of pressure here and is going to take a lick here as well. But he just heaves that ball down the middle of the football field, hoping that one of his guys is the one that comes up with it. Mike Detterding is the one that ended up putting the hit on him at the end.
Derek's taken a lot of abuse this afternoon, hasn't he?
Yes, he has.
Hit.
He's played well, though. I mean, you look at a freshman quarterback taking the kind of licks he has, he's hung in there.
Hit hard and often. Here's a pass directly over the middle, and it is complete. This is Sherman, and Sherman takes it out for a first down. Gets to the 27-yard line for Stonehill with 3 minutes and 26 seconds to go. Jake Oates making the tackle for Bentley.
Well, this is just a great effort by Derek. You want to you want to look at something that shows you what character is. This kid hangs in there, throws the ball, and takes another weapon. That was the one he got hit on. He just threw a completion. He got hit the same way.
Tom Sherman, the receiver, is from North Attleboro, Mass, approaching the 3-minute mark remaining in the football game. Derek, screen pass, complete over the middle to McSherry, and McSherry is a tank, takes the ball to the 44-yard line, first down for Stonehill.
I can't tell you how impressed I am with the quarterback. He just shows great poise for a freshman coming in here, and there's been some very difficult situations. Whitby makes the tackle in the defensive backfield for Bentley, but he's been under a lot of pressures, completed 19 of 30 for 318 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he's taken a bunch of licks.
Stonehill has had some outstanding quarterbacks in their brief football history, and it would appear that they have found another one. It's taken a while this year for them to sort things out and figure out who is the guy to run this football team, but in the last couple or 3 games, 3 now with this one, it appears to be Mr. Derrick, only a freshman, and clearly would be the heir apparent into his sophomore, junior, senior seasons, and that gives him a chance to run up some pretty good numbers.
Well, you got Bill Hurley, who's his backup, and he's only a freshman, so I'm sure the two of them will battle it out. But, you know, this kid has sort of risen to the surface here, risen to the top here in this game, has responded to the challenge and has been excellent.
All of those people that you saw on that last graphic have played quarterback at one time or another this season, 7 of them for Stonehill. Bill Tucker knocked that pass down for Bentley. There are 1 minute and 54 seconds to play. Score continues 49-24 Bentley. Stonehill scored first in the game. They led 6-0. They also led 12-7, but that was their last lead. Bentley moved ahead at 15-12, 21-12, 28-12, and here we are at 49-24 as the Falcons have dominated in the second half. The freshman, Derrick, pass over the middle is incomplete. That was intended for number 7, Richard White, who's been a prominent player on this afternoon, both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, I'm sure if you asked Dickie White what he would have liked today, he probably would have liked a better playing surface, because this was a tough surface for defensive backs on either side of the ball to play on, and he's a lot happier, I think, when he's out here running pass patterns. A lot easier to do than try to cover those same pass patterns as a defensive back. Proved very difficult today. Stonehill's going to call timeout. I think they've got 10 men on the field. Let's see.
White just came off the field.
They got 11.
He is earlier in the afternoon became their all-time leading tackler. More prominent as a defensive player, but as you were saying, Nort, this is a kind of a field that makes things very difficult for the defender, especially if you're playing in the defensive secondary. And it may have been more fun for White playing on the offensive side of the ball today than trying to cover Mark DeBrito. And we have a timeout here at Chieftain Field with 1 minute and 49 seconds to go. Last year here at Northeastern, Bentley won this game 22-8. They played twice in '95. Those were the 2 games we were talking about a moment ago. Stonehill winning the first game 39-36 in what was the last game of the regular season, and then the same 2 teams met in the playoffs, and actually the final score in that game was Bentley 46 and Stonehill 3. Bentley won the previous 3 games 42-0, 27-26, and 27-14. Bentley in recent years has been the predominant ball club in this series. Derrick steps away from a tackle intended for Adamson, and it's incomplete. That will stop the clock with 1 minute and 44 seconds to go. Some of the folks that are just in front of us.
I love that one. We
I survived football.
85-97. What next?
That,
boy, as a parent, do I identify with that?
A parent of a senior, would you say?
You bet. What's next? How many more? No more games to go to.
It'll mean some warm Saturday afternoons henceforth.
You bet. It's a lot of fun, though. I bet you they wouldn't give it up for anything.
1 minute 44 to play. All fresh white jerseys out there for Bentley now as the second unit offense has taken over.
That was Candelario with the carry, by the way. Steven Candelario off tackle. I got to make sure I get that in because Rocky Nelson, the coach of Woburn High, will be watching this tomorrow and he'll say, where was Steven? There he is.
Ryan Fryer with the snap and the handoff, and they've got a 1st and 10 out of that. Down into Stonehill territory at the 32-yard line. Maybe they'd make it the 33.
Stephen is a pretty good story about kids like that go to Bentley and Stonehill. You know, he came out of Woburn High. He's a little guy. He's 5'8". I mean, there was nobody was looking for him to be a football player. And you call over to Bentley, and he wanted to go there, and we call the coaches over there. Said he wanted to play football. They knew who he was, and he wanted to play football. He wants to be a college football player, and being on the team and mind being associated with us is all of this is all what it's about. And I think it's great that kids have an opportunity at more and more schools to play football, which is the shame of BU giving it up. You know, hopefully, you know, at some point in time down the road, BU may bring it back at this kind of level. But it's a great opportunity, and kids like Stephen Candelario, 5'8", 195, you know, if you don't have places to play like Bentley, there's no place to play.
He'll smile on his face as you talk about it, too, as a matter of fact.
Right. He loves the game, and he wants to play. And there's a whole bunch of Steve Candelarios on both sides of the football today. Last week in Amherst versus Williams, and next week we watch SC. These kids play the game because they love it. Nobody's out here on room, board, books, and tuition to play.
Down to 8 seconds. There is not going to be another play, and the clock is going to run out on this edition of this Bentley-Stonehill rivalry. All zeros, and the people in the purple and the blue and the white will shake hands out in the center of the field, as they have since this rivalry began. And Bentley has won this one 49-24. We'll be back and wrap this one up from Chieftain Field in Northeastern right after this.
You'll call it your window of opportunity. And there's one thing that's bound to attract a crowd. Festive decorations? Maybe. Pretty lights? Whoa. How about saving money? It's the Chevy Make Your Money Count year-end event, where you can get low 2.9 APR financing or great cashback savings on a huge selection of Chevy cars and trucks. So don't forget, make your money count now at your Chevy dealer and save big.
Especially since you can make no payments till 1998, only at your local Chevrolet dealer.
Stonehill is an awesome college to go to. It has a really nice atmosphere.
The national press is discovering what many New Englanders have known all along. Stonehill College is one of the most vibrant Catholic liberal arts schools in the country. Located 20 minutes south of Boston, Stonehill is celebrating 50 years of excellence in liberal arts, science, and business administration. With an enrollment of 2,000, there are no strangers at Stonehill. Classrooms are where students and professors truly get to know each other. Students have access to the latest technology, and a new state-of-the-art library is set to open in 1998. Stonehill has a diverse menu of clubs and activities and offers sports for competitive and recreational athletes alike.
If you're just sitting in your room saying, there's nothing to do, then you really don't know what's going on, because there's always something to do here.
Religious inspiration is evident by the large number of Stonehill students volunteering for charity work. Looks at Spez, Light and Hope is more than just a slogan. It represents students who care about making a difference.
The versatile Ricoh touchscreen copier. For those impressed by its remarkable brain, consider the body. Precision engineered for heavy duty and high volume, Ricoh's obsession with reliability and performance in a whole new class of machine. And the quality we put into it, you can get out of it right now. Because Ricoh's touchscreen copiers are not only more productive, they're also more affordable. The name to know, Ricoh.
The ECAC football game of the week on Nesson has been brought to you by the Chevy Dealers of New England. Visit your local Chevy dealer today. By Reebok Team Sports, proud suppliers of footwear, apparel, and uniforms to the ECAC and its member colleges. By Budget Rent-A-Car, the official car and truck rental of the ECAC. Budget, get out of the ordinary. And by Spalding Sports Worldwide. The Spalding Top Flight 100 and J5V are the official footballs of the ECAC. Well, Nort John Derrick, good ball game for the freshman quarterback for Stonehill. Brian Adamson, 8 receptions for 151 yards for Stonehill. But Matt Raposa, Mike Mason, Mark DeBrito for Bentley, the 3 prominent guys in the football game.
Yeah, I think that what we talked about a little bit earlier deserves repeating, is that the guys that you look at on that Bentley team to make big plays for you, Mason, a senior quarterback, veteran guy, DeBrito, who's one of the top receivers in the league and certainly one of the top receivers in this division in the country. When you look at those 2 kids, you expect them to have the kind of games they've been having all year long. And Raposa has a huge game, plays well all the time, but has a huge game here, 187. And one of the things that you look at the football game, one of the things that Raposa did well, he ran this, it's not a toss, sort of a wide handoff. They just crunch the inside, seal off the linebackers, kick out the corner, and off he goes. But then in the fourth quarter, they ran that play a number of times with great success, and that was the best one, which they ran for a touchdown. But it was a money play for them in the fourth quarter. In the third quarter, they ran inside counter trap, and they made a lot of yardage on inside counter trap. So they're able to really establish themselves in the third and fourth quarter with the run. When you look at the pass, DeBrito with 4 touchdown passes. He's had 4 long touchdown passes over the course of the season, a 69-yarder in this game, and a number of other ones that were just talented receptions. That's just a beautiful reception, a great move, and that was superb play by the quarterback, Mason, looking off the safety man to create that gap in the deep middle of the secondary. He beat a real good cornerback.
So he comes back with 6 receptions for 141 yards and 4 touchdowns after he was shut out against CW Post last week.
Yep.
49-24 is the final score, and that after Stonehill actually had scored first and led in the ball game at 6-0. They also led at 12-7. That was early in the second quarter. From that point on, Bentley.
And you can't say enough. Bentley had a superb game, and you have to give credit for Dickie White, who was beaten on that pass play. But he really had a great career, and a tough way to go out with the kind of footing he had to play defensive secondary play in today. And the quarterback impressed the dickens out of me.
And Bentley now has won 3 in a row in this series, and 6 out of the last 7. They finished the season with a record of 6-3, and Stonehill closes at 4-6. And again, our final score, Bentley 49, Stonehill 24. Our next ECAC telecast is next weekend. We will be live in Springfield, Massachusetts for the Eastern Football Conference Championship game. The Yellow Jackets of AIC host either the University of Albany or Southern Connecticut. They were tied 21-21 at the half. The action next Saturday, live at noon. This has been an exclusive presentation of Nesson, your ticket for the ECAC.
This year's graduating class will produce 7 doctors, 27 lawyers, 24 teachers, 65 divorcees, 34 alcohol and drug abusers, 42 cases.
If you're lonely, depressed, or suicidal, or know someone who is, there's a place to